Barrett Brown was arrested today by the Texas Bureau of Prisons. Barrett Brown is somebody who I interviewed back in January for my first TYT interview. It was my inaugural journalistic undertaking for TYT, and I was in Dallas and I interviewed Barrett Brown at the headquarters of D Magazine, where he has approved employment while he is on provisional release from imprisonment. Barrett Brown had been confined to prison for over 4 years, from 2012 to 2016, and by all accounts, he was meeting all the requirements of parole. He was checking in with his halfway house, and he was answering, meeting every requirement that had been set upon him. And today he was suddenly arrested during a check-in. And apparently, the reason cited for the arrest, as relayed by Barrett Brown, once he was able to get access to a phone and speak to his mother, who then told his employer, apparently the reason was unsanctioned media appearances, and that apparently it was Barrett Brown's. It was mandated of Barrett Brown that he would seek permission from the Bureau of Prisons before granting any media interviews, but that had never seemingly been clarified to him ahead of time. And he had done many interviews, including with me. So Barrett Brown he was sort of an internet activist, a all-around kind of troubadour of journalism and commentary, and he had been involved in some anonymous activities. So anonymous meaning the hacktivist collective back when that was in its heyday, and he was in prison for over 4 years. So for him now to be rearrested on pretty flimsy grounds seems like a ominous infringement on his rights and journalism rights more broadly, because he was a working journalist at the time this happened. I mean, he's definitely a quirky and unorthodox journalist, but nevertheless, he is engaged in protected journalistic activity in covering the Dallas City Council, which he was doing as an employee for D Magazine. So for him to be arrested, and for one of the reasons cited to be his giving these unsanctioned media appearances, that's troubling, because that implicates me and TYT in a way, because we conducted an interview with him in February, for which I don't think he ever sought or perceived himself as required to needing permission from the prison authorities. That wasn't a condition of his release, that he needed to seek permission. Anyway, look into that yourself. I'm going to put a couple links in the description box, but I thought everyone should just be aware, and maybe even go back and watch the interview that I did with him a few months ago. Because apparently that, in addition to other interviews he's done, was reason to apprehend him again and incarcerate him. And nobody quite knows, I think, at this point, when he could get out. So yeah, I just want to do a quick update on that, and encourage you to go watch that initial interview, and I will link it. So have a good night.